Hello, Richard. Great to have you with us again. So, we've seen in a number of interviews that you've had that you've talked about helping your coaching clients by developing an impenetrable shield. Would you like to tell us more about that?
Absolutely. And some of my coaching clients call that the Duggal Shield because it reminds them of what we talked about when we developed it and has them enjoy the benefits of having this shield. Let's talk about that shield. We'll begin by recognizing that there's areas where we have control of our life, where we say, I have control, or you have control about what you have for breakfast. As long as you have the eggs in the fridge, you can make some eggs. And you have control over maybe picking up the phone and calling somebody. You can say, I can pick up the phone. But there's things that we have that are occurring in our world that are outside our control, like whether it's going to rain today, for example. And sometimes we get mixed up between what we have control over and what we don't in our minds. And the idea of the shield is that it's to recognize we already have a shield. So if you think of a shield, an invisible shield around you, that's within that shield are the things which you have control over. You believe you have control over. And outside that shield are things that we do not have control over. So let's say you call somebody up. You have control over making the phone call to somebody selling a house privately. But really, you don't have complete control whether they will list the house with you. We have influence on it. And this is where it gets interesting because things that are outside that bubble, you could say, that shield that's surrounding you, there's actually things that you believe that are outside your control that you actually may be able to influence. You see, when I call somebody selling privately, in my mind, I'm getting that guy. I'm getting that lady. I'm going to help them sell the property. I'm getting in there. And just having that feeling of control, it has a different effect in my communication on that person. They feel it. They feel the confidence. It's just like, when you were young and there's a school dance and you got there late and you're with your friends and your friend said, oh, look at that line. And you said, you watch. And you walk right past that bouncer. And you just walk right by the bouncer's looking at you, but he lets you in. He goes, whatever. Because have you noticed at that moment you had that impenetrable shield of influence? You had that confidence that it was almost a relaxation because you knew that's it, it's done deal. Or what about that time when you went to Walmart or that store and you had those things to return in the bag, but you didn't have the receipt, or the receipt said only returns, no refunds, unless you bring the goods back within 2 weeks of buying. And it's the third week. And somebody says, oh, you can't do that. They won't give you a refund. You go, you watch. Well, in that time, you had an impenetrable shield and you brought things outside that other people would put outside their influence, which is, I can't do it. They won't give me the refund. I can't get into that club. I can't really get that listing. And you brought it inside. So what's beautiful about this awareness is it's called limiting beliefs. Sometimes our limiting beliefs keeps things on the outside that really should be inside your sphere of influence. So what we do in my coaching, using conversational hypnosis, hypnotism, mindset, is that we bring more things outside those limiting beliefs. We bring them inside because the closer something is, the smaller it gets. The closer something is, the smaller it gets. So if you see a magic trick on the stage and you go, whoa, and afterwards the magician says, hey, come up, I'll show you what I'm doing. And you look at it and you go, oh, okay. That was kind of cute. That the same idea, some of the things that we re-examine, we go, I can do that. I can get that refund. I can call that person. I can at least get in that house. Even if I just say, look, let me see if I've got a buyer. I work the area. It take me 10 minutes. Assume I'm the buyer when I come in, even though I'm a realtor, and let me in just like a buyer, blah, blah, blah. Whatever you say, the words will just come out because of the confidence. So what we're actually doing, in essence, is even expanding that sphere of influence. But it goes beyond that, because the world will throw things at us. It could be a message. It could be something bad news on the news where they're trying to frighten you about something, which is the job of the news. And it could be somebody at an event saying something like a little put down within a joke, and they're trying to penetrate you. But what happens is it will bounce off. Rejection will bounce off. If somebody says, get a proper job, and you just laugh at it because it bounces off your shield. So that's a beautiful thing about the shield. Nothing can penetrate it. It's basically a superpower. So when you walk around with that power, can you imagine how much more enjoyment, confidence, how much more charisma you're going to have? Because you're going to have that confidence that nothing can touch you. You actually choose what comes in and what bounces off. And sometimes you won't even notice things. In fact, someone may give you an insult and you take it as a compliment. I mean, can you imagine that? Because it gets converted and you smile and say something and the person is completely thrown off. So this is the beauty of having that shield. And if you haven't got that shield now, if whatever training and coaching you've had has never developed that, there's a hole in your development. And I'm here to fill that hole generously with riches, diamonds, jewels, emeralds. And we're going to make you more successful. We're going to make you more attractive to other people, more centered. You're going to be able to list more houses, sell more, just because who you are. And you will be a force to be reckoned with. So I invite you to a conversation. We can talk about this further. And the beautiful thing is, I've done this within a 10-minute session with somebody. Obviously, there's conversations around that. So I had a recent client who actually said, after being coached with me just after a month, and said, Richard, I have to tell you something. My wife tells me I'm a calmer person. Now, how's that? I mean, what price would you pay for that? So these are the benefits that come when you have a shield around you, the Duggal Shield. So if you've never been aware of this, or you've never been exposed to this, I'm here to let you in on the treasure trove of real persuasion, things that nobody else is even talking about. I first learned PDF scripts. I memorized them, internalized them, made them my own. Then I realized that I need to work on myself, because where you speak from is where you speak to. The beautiful thing about these techniques, you're not spending more money on marketing, flyers, websites. Once you've got this ability, it's all profit. So once you make yourself better, any gain in business is all 100% profit. So if profit's important to you, if you want the Duggal Shield, give me a call. Let's get together.
That's fantastic, Richard. And my mind is boggling. So many things that you've covered there. And what I really, really liked, and the bit that really stood out for me was when you said at the end that a recent client's wife had commented on the impact it had had on them. So the benefits aren't just about business. It's about happiness and relationships, all parts of life. That's incredible. Thank you for sharing that with us today.
My pleasure.